Hello, everybody. We're back. Welcome to another episode of Geeks and Degenerates. We're on the Oscar awarded animated movies. This time ending with Inside Out, the 2015 movie directed by Pete Docter. If you don't know who that is, he directed Up. So if you think your heartstrings are not going to be pulled in this one, you're wrong.
This was 2015?
Yeah.
So I have not seen this movie at all for 7 years.
I mean, like, I didn't feel like crying again, so...
Alright.
Actually,
You know?
okay, not gonna lie, because I really, I wasn't really excited for this movie, so I was like, oh. And people were like, oh, it's so sad. I'm like, alright. And then I watched it, I was like, I caught myself, like, choking up. I was like, alright, this is hard. I'll give it that,
And this is Pixar's, like, one of, if not the most mature settings they ever had. I would think so. But it stars...
So they got to,
Right.
turning red.
That is true. But it stars Amy Poehler, Louis Black, Bill Hader, and forgetting others. Diane Lane,
Mindy
Martha.
Kaling, right?
Yeah, Mindy Kaling. And yeah, star-studded cast, and it's about Riley and the things that go on in her head, essentially.
And
Riley and her schizophrenia, just kidding.
your imaginary friends who are not harmful to you at all.
Your emotions that are just all in your head, it's not real. Just completely not getting the message of the movie at all. Like, just dumping all of your toxic masculinity into the movie. They're just trying to tell you that emotions aren't real, bro. It's all in your head. You just gotta rise and grind, bro.
And the Sigma theme song kicking in.
Yes.
But yeah, just like Turning Red, I feel like this is a good entryway to explaining to kids how, emotions work. Probably,
Oh
hopefully.
yeah, it's a good lesson on coming of age. Again, with Turning Red. With this one, yeah, it's the struggle of a kid who probably moved a lot, or not. This one didn't really move a lot, but like someone who moves, and yeah, you're leaving. Not catatonic.
Riley's just still the whole movie.
That's the whole twist. That's the theory that some fucker's gonna have in Reddit.
Oh god.
Actually, now that you're pointing out this specific part of it helping children, apparently a lot of child therapists, a lot of what do you call it? Pediatricians actually use Inside Out as a way for children to be able to understand and help articulate their emotions. And the person who isn't here, who was supposed to be here, Ina, told me that Inside Out is actually one way that she helped her nieces understand the intricacies of emotion as young children, and help them communicate to her how they feel. So it seems to work,
Oh yeah.
So it seems to work on not just medical professionals, but just anyone who's trying to understand a child,
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I kind of hate myself for not watching this movie soon. Because this thing like, oh, you gotta watch Inside Out. I'll try it next week. And I'm like, I never get to it until Enzo was like, yeah, you gotta watch this. I was like, alright. There you go. I sat down. I watched it. Okay, fine. I'll admit it. I teared up. And
Inside Out is the first ever Pixar movie to make me cry. Like, before that, I probably was able to avoid crying for 7 years.
oh my god.
And then I watched this movie, and I'm like, oh no!
That elephant cat thing.
Yeah, no, there are some moments in the movie where, for the kids, like, oh no, the elephant died. Wah. But for the adults, the teens are like, are you okay, buddy?
I didn't care that much about the elephant. Like, the elephant wasn't what hit me. It was Riley.
Yes.
Yep.
It was when Riley was finally able to let shit out that made me go, oh no!
Can somebody put out a soundboard? When we get a donation or like a mean comment. We just hit it.
But yeah, backtracking a bit, it starts Riley moving to a new place that she's not familiar
Yeah.
with, and the emotions in her head are like she's building up. It's like, oh, it's this amazing place. San Francisco's great. My room's gonna be amazing. Then they get there, it's not that, and there's a dead mouse in her room, and her room's like not the best either. You know, you gotta start somewhere.
She sleeps in the attic. I know how you feel. Yeah, my room's in the attic.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, the emotions. Joy at least is trying to keep her happy, like constantly. Like just look at the right side. No sadness. You can't touch the control panel, otherwise you'll corrupt it with your ways.
Sadness.
Yeah, that's
Corrupted with your ways. You mean sadness?
yeah, yeah.
No, but
God.
like at first, this movie did a really good job of like misleading your emotions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you fucking idiot! Why are you fucking touching shit? There was a reason why.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. I
Uh,
still hated you for the first part, but now I understand.
I didn't
I
get.
can't believe Ben and Ben would do that. You know.
Shit. But yeah, you also get the glimpse on how the adult's mind work when the dinner scene where Riley explodes and like the mom sadness is at the helm and for the dad anger is at the helm. You're like, huh, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, that's actually like an odd thing too. It was like, will Riley's emotions also grow yellow hair? Like they would all have the same hairstyle.
Like who's gonna
Are
be
they
in
just
charge while she grows up? That's the big question. I like how for the dad's side, they're like, sir, she's giving you sass. Do we put the foot down? Nah, not yet.
Yeah, it is the nuke. It's very. His entire mind was very much Red October.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
she gets to the boiling point, and so does he. It's like, go to your room, and the control panel's like, good
This,
job,
this
sir.
is a this is a very like relatable moment on Riley's side.
Yeah.
Like I remember me being as a kid being happy at the start of the day, me going through puberty, and then just like midway and kind of like it's an okay day, and then by dinner you're like fuck everything,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like, yeah, let's go to your room,
I love the
cry it out or
mom's.
something. I don't know.
I love the mom's mind being like, why didn't we just settle down for the Brazilian pilot?
The Brazilian pilot,
Yeah.
which is also weird that it's also in the teacher's mind in the post credit.
Right.
So that guy was kind of
Everywhere.
all over the place. Yeah,
But yeah, as
I
Jordan.
mean, he is a pilot.
he has a he has
He is
he
a
does
pilot.
have.
He's a fucking pilot. Of course, he's all over the place. It's his job. Why do you think Jake Peralta's parents didn't work out?
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Joy and Sen has come to a fight, they get sucked up into the further ventures of the mind, and like you see how, like that. They
As he
disappear
is
like
about
that.
to do a whoa, he just disappears. But they were like, then cuts out. I'm like, oh no.
And then,
The
you,
whoa
They
got
found
him.
him.
and then you see Disney's.
The invisible ball hit my webcam.
We're going on so many tangents.
I know.
Wait, who did Richard Kind play as?
Bing Bong.
Penguin.
Ah, that was Bing Bong.
Yeah.
Just know I'm going hard. Fuck your life. Sorry.
And you
I
see
got him.
Disney's attempt to further explain how the mind works with like long term and abstract thoughts. Like how are we going to explain this to any kid? Disney.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that was a very genius way of showing abstract thought, and
Yeah.
how it's also kind of like a furnace at the same time.
Mm.
You're like, there's a little bit of junk in there. Let's burn it out. I'm like, huh?
And as Joy's dragging around sadness as she's smoking, she's like corrupting every other memory. Like I like the effect of like Riley's happy at first when she's explaining her memories. Like I used to play hockey back in the day, and like sadness corrupts the memory. She turns sad, and you're like, what the fuck did you do?
Well, yeah, I'll just get with.
Story of my life.
Yeah,
I
but
have
yeah.
been there.
Well, but I will say that yeah, majority of the time, sadness was really annoying me.
Yeah.
I mean, she pointed it out. She said it herself. But like, bit by bit, I got to like once sadness became rational thinking. I was like, all right, I'm relating to her more.
And when you get
This
to
is
the
actually a nice. There's a good like character development for a character I hated at the start.
when you get to the big lesson, the end, you're like, fuck. All right. Good job, Disney. But yeah, left of the control board is discuss anger and fear, which is never a good combo in the first place.
Anger, fear, and disgust.
Yeah.
Like these motherfuckers should never be in an Ava.
And I like Disney's track record.
All three of my default emotions from high school.
That's what happened. God. Sadness and joy was just not there. Or over.
They were just hanging out somewhere else. And it was just anger, disgust, and
A majority of time the screen would like blank out and something horrible just happened.
Yeah.
You don't know how.
Seb, how was your day?
I love Disney's track record of like bringing, R-rated comedians like Louis Black and Bill Hader into kid-friendly films.
I was like, shit, they got Lois Black and Bill Hader. How?
Right?
The fuck?
I mean,
Okay.
got George Carlin for Tarzan too, so I can't imagine the others saying no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only matter of time until they bring Dave Chappelle.
I am gonna, like, I can't wait for them to bring in Bill Burr into something he doesn't care about. They have?
Mandalorian. Oh, you mean
No,
animated?
as in like animated Pixar kids film.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know he was in the
Yeah,
background.
actual Pixar. Star Wars is Disney by technicality. Like I still wouldn't call Marvel and Disney, Marvel and Star Wars Disney shit.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like I refuse to ever believe Loki's a Disney princess. But they do fit the criteria, him and Thor. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And a long-term memory. That's where they make Bing Bong, Riley's long-lost imaginary friend.
Fuck your life. Sorry.
Yes, that guy.
What?
It's like I know the way back to Riley's command center. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
And they have to hurry up because the cores of personality are crumbling one by one. Like she's no longer willing to do hockey. She's no longer a goofball. Like, there's some heavy stuff here, Disney.
Yeah. And I kind of do like the tad bit of hints to toxic positivity.
Yeah.
When it came to Joy's.
That's not subtle. That was pretty on the nose.
Okay, it was pretty on the nose.
Joy very quickly turned into the villain of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, along the way, they like see Riley's imagination, like the boyfriend factory and the French fry. I would die for Riley. Like, all right.
That is such a relatable thing to have in your head. Like when you're like a lonely teenager, you gotta have the girl. Like for us, it was a girlfriend factory.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Bing Bong straight up murders the Cloud folk. You're like, oh my god, he's a monster.
And when they murdered his wife, and you're like, "Hey, come back!" Nah, this is Cloud Town. I'm like, shit.
And then you go past the Dream Factory. It's like I'm falling down a deep hole. Like I can relate to that, definitely. Or I'm being chased. Like yeah, those are dreams I had when I was a kid. Being chased by God knows what was in my memory. Like one time, this is as far back as my memory concerns. Like I was chased by Thomas the Tank Engine. That was fun.
A monoblock chair pops out.
No, I'm just imagining Enzo getting chased by Thomas the Train, and then like the Notorious B.I.G. song just starts playing. Come on, motherfuckers! Come on! Come on, motherfuckers! Come on! Dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, they get to speaking of trains, they get to the train of what was it? Train of Thought, right?
Oh yeah, they got it beforehand.
Yeah.
They got to it beforehand, but then Riley went to sleep, and it made sense. Like
Yeah.
the train would stop when she falls asleep.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, and they had to reawaken her within her dream area, which is like somewhat Hollywood-esque studios
Yeah.
theme.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But again, it's a nice way of explaining to kids like how dreams work. Like they have this whole big production crew. Like that makes sense, of course.
Yeah, this is
And like
This is-
Joy was a fan of one of the characters from the dream.
Yeah.
this is more of a light-hearted osmosis jokes, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, I haven't thought of that movie since forever.
Dude,
Man.
now that you brought up Osmosis Joes, I'm just thinking about how is that pill still alive?
Right? It should dissolve, right? Or
Yeah, he
is
should
it-
be dead by the time the movie ends. He should also be dead already. But that's neither here nor there.
If people don't know,
No, that was the
what
end of
we're-
Osmosis Jones. Him on his deathbed, but anyway.
if people don't know what we're referring to, here's a picture. Good luck with that.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, watch this movie. It's Bill Murray in it.
It's a movie about a white blood cell in a fucking pill, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In
It's
a
a white
buddy
blood
cop
cell,
movie.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a buddy
yeah.
cop movie, which is really good.
How did that work but not R.I.P.D.? Anyway.
Like they're like we have to wake Riley up. How? Give her a nightmare. And like they first go as a dog that, like, it's a dog costume at first, but like in the camera's lens, it like splits itself in half. You're like that's pretty
Mhm.
disturbing. And Bill Hader's freaking out. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I am happy that Riley doesn't have this kind of grotesque image of like the intestines all out since it's cut in half. I'm like,
Yeah.
I am happy that you don't know anatomy yet.
And then security's called and they're put into like the nightmare zone where you see all of Riley's nightmares and the clown.
It's not a nightmare zone. It's like the deep subconscious or something like that, like where your fears are.
Right, and fuck the clown. Like that's pretty
Fuck
terrifying.
you, man.
Like the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh hell no. Not knowing
Yeah,
Man,
oh,
like,
mine's just realist. Mine's just a world of realistic cakes.
Everything's just the same. You just don't want to touch it.
right.
Mine's fucking terrifying. It's just sentient, realistic cakes. Ina walks up to me, gives me a hug. I mush her into cake 'cause she's just cake. You know, you walk up to me and we give each other a high five. I high five you too hard. Your cake hand falls off.
You do that in real life.
Fair, but you know what I mean. Everything is cake.
Yeah, just
You're not as fragile. I can do it, but not as fragile.
it's a bit more torque required for us for our arms to be separated.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah, the clown scares Bill Hader and he just freaks out and hits the awake button and Anger's like, you know what, fuck this town. Our old place was better. We had friends. We had hockey. I'll plant an idea to run away. And we're like, they'll never commit to it. It's Disney. Sure, they killed Mufasa, but like, how far? And you find out how far they're willing to commit to it. Like, oh, wow, well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I am happy that they kind of touched upon this whole running away scene.
Yeah.
Where, like, yeah, it's just a conflict of emotions. Like, you're in a new place, we get it, you miss home, but you don't know how to communicate it. And, yeah, I as annoying as, like, anger, don't do it. Like, that was almost relatable action that I could think of. I was like, yeah, for an 11-year-old, someone who
Yeah.
hasn't thought things through. Like,
Yeah.
really, once you get to Minnesota, what, you got the cash to live there and play hockey?
Yeah.
Dumbass kid. No kidding. Sorry.
I mean, she is 11. But yeah, she
Yeah, she is.
also steals her mom's money. Like, wow, they're really committing this. Alright.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, like, that's where honesty falls.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
like, that just makes them hurry up. See.
Joke lang. I don't steal from my parents. I steal from my friends.
Check my wallet.
Actually, no.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, they have to hurry up because Riley's awake and like they don't know it yet, but like anger is committed to the emotion to for her to run away. So Joy and Sadness have to hurry up, and like, was it during when Sadness and Joy fell into the pit that she realized she could reverse the memory and go further into that hockey memory? Like, oh,
Yeah, when she fell into the forgetful pit.
yeah,
The forgetful.
like
Just really fucking love hockey. That's what Riley turns into, just a really big hockey nut. It's the only thing she can stay happy about. Oh my god, fucking hockey!
I feel like if Joy and Sadness didn't have this whole journey together, I think Riley would have been that.
The NHL's my shit! It's all she does in her day.
But yeah, Joy reverses it like, oh, I thought this was Riley's happiest day because they won. No, because she missed the winning shot and she was about to quit, and her parents and her teammates brought her back up. And like,
It was a mix of emotions. So
Yeah.
sadness, then happiness. You kind of need both to make a character.
a complete memory, because when you look back, you're like,
Yeah, a complete memory or to build character to a person, I guess. Because as you see from the ending, like all of the memories are mixed match now with green,
Yeah.
purple,
because
red.
when Riley looks back, she's like, yeah, that day did suck, but like by the end of the day, they still treated me as the MVP. They still brought me back up to my help me with my self-esteem, and that's a touching scene. And like,
Yeah.
as they're in the pit, Bing Bong and Joy are like, Bing Bong's like, we can't escape until Joy's like, wait, can you sing your song? And then he starts singing.
Oh
the
wait,
song.
I'll point out a scene though that made me really hate Joy.
What?
It was when she was in the tube.
Oh yeah, just
And she was like, she pretty much ditched Sadness. I was like, Sadness could be lost forever, you bitch. You could have
Don't
made
worry
her
about
go
it.
first, just letting you know.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
This is the Woody Buzz scene, just more intense.
right.
Yeah, and like more kind of like, oh, that's a disgusting feeling now.
Yeah. And like,
Because, yeah, you know,
yeah, what's that? Like, you really are the villain of the story, Joy.
yeah. But I will say I did choke up at the scene where she was like looking through the memories and she was just holding them tight. Because to the memories that fell into the pit, to her it was, you know, it was still close to her. It was
Yeah.
still, you know, she couldn't let go of those memories.
Of the
And it
core
was sad to
memories.
see.
Yeah.
No, not the core memories, like just random memories.
Oh right.
That was just laying around. She felt sad for those things. I was like, okay, this kind of. And seeing tears in her eyes. I was like, you still the villain.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it's that realization, like, ugh.
This was
These
very
emotions
what
can-
if emotions felt emotions.
Yeah.
You know?
Alright.
And you're
No,
like,
because like think about like the intricacies of how deep this goes. Because like, joy is joy, and joy is kind of her job. But in and of itself, the emotion of joy feels worry, paranoia, fear, and you know, sadness feels concern, cautiousness, and like that's not something like we realize that our emotions, despite you know being one linear thing in this movie, articulates it as something more multidimensional and more intricate and more detailed. Because that's kind of what our emotions are. They're not linear. They're not like just one thing. We feel a million different things in between the base emotion itself, and for them to be able to show that by going like, "What if your feelings had feelings?"
Hmm.
You know, it's a good way to get that into a lot of people's heads. Like a lot of people are probably thinking that shit now.
Yeah.
yeah. And they find Bing Bong's rocket. They start singing the song, and like they fail a couple of times. Like the moment you see Bing Bong disappear, I'm like, he's not gonna make it, is he?
With every car guy, they already knew the answer.
He's
Yeah.
just like,
Weight reduction.
"Long live the king." Joy kills him too.
Bing
Joy's
Bong's
just a
last
mass
words.
murderer.
Bing Bong's last words, just know I'm going hard. Bing Bong.
But yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Bing Bong sacrifices himself, and his last words to Joy is, "Take her to the moon for me." Like, all right, and this is like the beginning of the
Yeah.
downward spiral. Like, oh right, bring out tissues. Fun, thanks Disney. Uh, but they make it back in time. But like they splat on the mirror, on the window, and like discusses like, "You're a horrible leader. Why would I want to be with you forever?"
No, not to Joy, but to
To anger.
to anger, because it was like, is this a Mufasa scene?
I don't know. Well, he starts to trigger anger and he blows his top off literally.
Oh yeah, and use
I
him
love
as a torch.
Anger. He was so great. Anger was fucking hilarious, and I love how Anger was short.
Yeah.
You know, because like anger is a short fuse. It's
Yes.
easily ignited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta love that they actually committed to a couple of like, oh shit, these are grown-up jokes. like there's not like disguised or anything. Every time like Anger's like, I really want to use that curse word, he finally does. So I'm like, shit, that one.
I love how Sadness is the one to remove the idea of running away from Riley said. And it's her who ultimately brings her back home and lets Riley say what she needs to say to her parents.
Yeah. That part I don't get is that why couldn't they do it themselves? But I guess in metaphorical sense.
What do you mean do it themselves?
Like, you know how Sadness was like, oh, touch it, turn, and then it comes out. Because everything here is very mechanical and like somewhat grounded to a degree.
You thought Joy and Sadness would both control the panel?
No, you know what? Never mind. Like, why
Bro,
couldn't
just let the movie not be real.
Yeah. I should not, no. I should not let the continuity ruin the movie.
But yeah, Raz says, I miss home, and this is what it is. Like, their parents are like, we understand.
You just ruined this scene with Randy going, it is what it is.
That's right, I forgot what else he says.
Yes, very sad anyway.
I forget what else you said.
No, but
yeah, it's very
no, but
powerful.
I get it, and that's where I broke down because like we're all men, and I think Enzo understands this to a certain degree. I was at a point in my life where like I've gone through kind of being the head of an all-female household, or like the only male figure in a female household. And also, like, I had a lot of, for lack of a better term, people who were, like, looking to me for guidance and looking to me for stability.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a pressure put upon, I think it might be a male-specific thing, like single-parent things, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the pressures put upon you to be stable.
Yeah.
To be okay. And this was the first movie to articulate how much pressure that put me under. How much pressure the idea of having to stay okay puts anyone under. And when she finally let it out and when it was understood, like, that was something I greatly desired, and that was something that, for that moment, I was able to come to grips with that own part of my own humanity, because it told me that these things I'm going through can be communicated. These things can be, like, there is sympathy for people who eventually break down and can't just stay okay.
And
there's a certain validation we need from that,
Yeah. Where I get those moments where like you kind of have to force yourself because other people need it. You have to feel a certain way because other people need it. But once you hit your breaking point, like this is it. This is the scene where you just want to cry and you can't take it anymore. Like as for Riley, she just had to be happy for her family, and seeing her just put it on just for the sake of her family, not for her, was hard to watch. And then when she finally broke down, that was me like finally like gasping for him, like, oh fucking fine. For this character. I was like, shit. Because we've all been, for sure. Everybody in this call, everybody who's watching, you've all been there where you had to fake it till you make it, and then once you made it, you just like, ugh! You know?
Since I first watched this in the theater, it's like one of the occasions like, I don't want to cry in public. Everyone else is, but I don't want to. Like when the
Man,
movies ended.
oh, that's the exact lesson that this scene was trying to show you!
I know. Like, when the movie's wrapping out and the lights turn on, my mom's like, that was a good movie. I was like, yeah, pretty good.
If I was there, cry, bitch, cry!
But yeah.
Yo, if I cried to this movie, you have the right to cry to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I'm not the most emotional motherfucker. Or at least at the time, I wasn't a man who understood emotion. But right then and there, I was like, I needed that.
Yeah.
I was sobbing in the fucking movie theater. My parents were right next to me. I think completely oblivious to how I felt. Because, like, I was, like, hiding it. And I don't have, like, the Kim Kardashian face. You know?
No, just Seb's mom's like, damn, pretty sure my kid's fine.
I look like Robert De Niro when I cry. I'm just like... Like, if anyone ever looks back at any fucking IG stories of Ina posting my reactions to a Haikyuu thing, I always look like Robert De Niro. I was like...
It's always
But
that.
really, there are tears. We're like...
Dude, come on, like, second episode and when Hinata got that first, like, spike down.
I cried in the first episode.
Yeah.
The first episode, first season. That's how much that show fucking hits me. No, and like... I was mostly into Western content. I don't get a lot of these things like Haikyuu were given.
Mm-hmm.
To like really understand the intricacies of human emotion, passion, and daily struggles, the way anime articulates it. And in this fucking movie, it was one of the few times where Western media fucking nailed it right on the head.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so much pressure. Cause like, right around 4th year high school, like, I wasn't hanging out with my batchmates because my batchmates were mostly shallow fucks. Sorry, guys, but I don't like you. Not you, like my batchmates.
Oh, no. I was like, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, most of
I
them
can
are
tell that.
Most of them are shallow fucks, too busy within their own cliques to actually, like, you know, have intricate, layered human emotions. But I mostly hung out with, I mostly hung out with, like, you know, younger fuckers, like younger batch people, and in turn, you kind of inadvertently play a weirdly paternal role in these people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I continue to play that shit to this day. I have children, like, somewhat, sure. Well, like, there are people that actually to this day refer to me as dad. You know,
I ain't calling you dad.
no, like there are people that call me dad. Like, multiple times people have called me dad or father. Luckily, not daddy, not yet. But that's a different deal. But they refer to me as that because I do guide these people. I do teach them how to be able to go through things without, you know, putting detriment to themselves, without... Like, I go through a lot of people's breakdowns. I go through a lot of people's rough patches. And in turn, because you're the guy pulling a lot of people out of rough patches, you forget to help yourself a bit. You forget your own rough patches. You forget the pain you go through on your own. Like, to me, it was like, I am the guy who can endure anything because everyone else is too weak to take this. Which is somewhat an ego thing, and somewhat I'm just trying my best for the people who need me to be at my best. And the truth is, none of us can truly be at our best.
That's
Like, permanently, all the time. We can't. It's just not how human beings work. And we all need that opportunity to be able to not be okay. And know that that's fine. And at the time, I didn't necessarily have the same circle of friends I have now.
Yeah.
I would also argue it didn't have that much of a circle of friends. Like, this was way before we started hanging out again. And this is way before, way before, my friends at Slurrp. So, like, this movie was, like, one of the first things, and this was before my diagnosis for bipolar. It was one of the first things that helped me embrace more vulnerable emotions. Or at least in those small moments, gave me an opportunity to understand that these more vulnerable emotions exist and they don't have to be ignored. So, like, that's where, like, my periods of, like, I'm gonna isolate and, like, be depressed for a bit. Hold on, I'll be back, guys. Comes back 3 days later. Hey, I'm okay now. What did you go through? I don't know. Maybe mental breakdowns, crying, something like that.
Everything that was just Jordan opened it for maybe 2 minutes. And
It's just me Super Saiyan screaming and crying for 3 days. And then I come back, I'm okay.
A town probably destroyed in the background now.
Yeah.
But yes, back to the movie, as Drummer said, you see like more complicated emotions. Like the core members are more, have more color to them. It's not just joy, not just sadness. It's both joy, sadness, disgust, anger, all of the above. And they have a new control panel too, and new personality cores. Like, oh look, it's boy band town. Or
Boy Bawang Town?
Sorry.
Boy bawang. Kornik ang puta.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Pinoy snackdowns.
She had Little Philippines in San Francisco.
Emo
Little Manila, I
vampire
guess.
core. Like, that sounds familiar. Alright. Hopefully that's not a lasting core. Hopefully not, as Fear said. And everything looks bright and happy. Riley's enjoying hockey again. Like, I like how she bumps into that one kid and you zoom into his mind. His mind's going berserk. Like, oh my god, it's a girl. What do we do?
This is like every dude.
Have you gone through this before, Enzo?
Yeah, like me and Enzo for fucking sure. Like, cause we've had friend girls, like just a friend girl, where we could actually just talk to them and be like, oh, what's up? Look them in the eye. But once your crush comes in, your brain shuts down. You're like, don't look at her directly. You're gonna look creepy, or like something like that, where your brain just goes haywire.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, seems about right. You're that one episode in SpongeBob where they're burning all the files. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if you've taken sports and I can relate to this because I used to be a soccer player and there would be that one player. I'm like, damn, she's pretty. And that's exactly how my brain works. Like, what do I do?
I thought you were gonna talk about the sport.
No. I don't want it to be an hour long.
Enzo sounds like such a fucking creep just watching girls play soccer going, oh, she's so fucking
No, I mean have a good game. Have a good game, you two. My brain's not working right. Alright.
Man,
This is what happens when you get Enzo to talk about girls.
Yeah.
Just doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
and so you kind of sounded like you're the guy in the bleachers who has the cap and binoculars.
No.
He's the guy. No, like on the school football games, right? He'd just be like under the bleachers with
Under the
binoculars.
bleachers
God.
with a.
Yeah, he's just like, oh my gosh, she's so fucking pretty.
Look, man, we're not
Don't you
making fun
talk
of
to
you.
me
This is
like
what you must think.
Yeah, it's just how you articulated it. It kind of sounded like that.
Look, he was playing football in a team of people above his, around his age, and there's a girl there. That's what he's trying to say, everybody.
Thank you.
Wait.
Thank you. But yeah, hopefully the future looks brighter for Riley because she's 12 and anything's possible.
I would love to see a sequel to Inside Out.
There was a short where the kid in the hockey game actually became like a close friend of Riley and visited the house, and then it was pretty much all in the dad's emotion perspective on how are they gonna deal with a boy who probably likes their daughter. I suggest looking it up. It's actually really funny.
Yeah. As
Them relating over ACDC.
As John pointed out, in the credits, you see how other people's minds work. Like the teacher is dreaming of that Brazilian pilot. Since
You know what?
the, sorry, go
Go
on.
on. Oh, okay. You won't put my mind at ease was the popular girl. I was like, so that's probably what's going through their heads. Got it.
I'm sad to
They're
think
as
oh,
much of a
God.
damaged animal than I was. Got
Can they see it through our eyeshadow? Nah, we're good. There's a teacher thing. I'm like, since this came out when I was first year of college, I'm like, yeah, I've seen that look before. I'm like, I just
Which
want
look?
vacation right now.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then they see how the cat mind works and the dog mind works. Like, that's funny. That's for the kids.
Mhm.
Uh, But yeah, it's a really good movie. One of Pixar's best, indeed. Ultimately, what would you rate this?
Damn. I would. Yeah. I think this is one of the Pixar movies I will give a 10.
Right?
Yeah, because I get it that there are some moments where the characters were really annoying and you're like, why can't you do this one thing? The actions were so understandable. Like, yeah, it has to flow this way. Like, it's like time. Like, it has to. And, like, yeah, a lot of times, sure, it was annoying from here to there. But the end result was pretty good. There were emotional parts, especially the one that Seb touched on, where Riley breaking down finally. Yeah, I cannot hold up this facade anymore. I'm gonna break down in front of you because I was so close to running over. And like, I loved everything about it. I am so ashamed of myself for not watching this movie soon. So yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. What? How about you?
Same here. Down. Like, just like turning red is the best way to explain to kids how things work. For like, where kids are asking like, how does my mind work?
Oh, how that red button works?
Yeah, puberty.
Puberty?
Yeah, great characters, great villain too. Like you don't realize she's a villain like until you really think about it. Like, yeah, she was the bad guy. Because you think it's sadness, and then you realize like, no, it's joy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm just overall great themes and totally rewatchable. Like, can watch. I'll watch this once in a while, just to be like, I need to watch a good Pixar movie aside from
Yeah.
the story.
Like,
But yeah.
you could show your 5-year-old kid this, and then once they hit fifth, like, their 13 age, you could make them watch this again.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. It's close to perfect.
What's it? Isn't 10 out of 10 perfect?
I mean, it really depends.
It's at 99.9%, I
Yeah.
guess. Anyway, how about you, Seb?
Easy 10.
Mhm.
Easy 10. There are a lot of moments where like you could say that a Disney movie is flawed. Like there are a lot of them that are definitely not perfect, but this one's easily, genuinely really perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, top to bottom. They did such a good job of articulating just how emotions work and how you could communicate this to a child.
Mhm.
And that's really difficult to do because children are very simple creatures when they start out, so it's hard to communicate something this complicated to them, and they did it really well. I don't see anyone having too much of a hard time understanding what this is about, like regardless of age. And the fact that this has genuinely helped a lot of children out, like it's not just a movie, like it's a learning experience for a lot of kids that need it. And you know, when a movie can have once a movie can genuinely affect the world in a positive way outside of just entertainment, like, you know, that's a genuinely a great piece, and there's nothing wrong with this movie, so it's an easy 10.
Yeah. And definitely deserve the award for best animated movie of that year. So there's some years you're like, really?
Yeah, I'm giving it that. Like when I heard it back in 2015 or 16, I was like, really? Why didn't you say that? I don't get it. You dumbass. You should have just watched it.
Yeah, there's some years you're like, really? Frozen or really? Brave? Alright. I guess.
Right?
But now, for Inside Out, like, yeah. damn right it's the best animated movie. Like, because I think the other Disney movie that came out that year was fucking The Good Dinosaur. Like, fuck no. That's about it.
It's a really fun movie.
Yeah, but that's been our video on Inside Out. What do you guys think of the movie? Please comment below. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. You can also find it at Facebook at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. We react to trailers. We recently did a Dead by Daylight stream with our friends at Anka Tanka. Individually, you can find me at Kindolphus1995 on Instagram and Twitter. How about YouTube? Something up?
Boys. You gotta say something, Sam?
Do better at playing David, Jomar.
It's my first time playing David.
I saw you play a custom game and equipped only 2 perks. You had 2 more slots. It was a custom game, Jomar. You could have equipped anything. And you just left 2 slots open.
You could find me at Chonchio on Instagram. It is my heart attack.
How about you, Sam?
How about you, Sam? Where can they find me? Visually and or pub?
Well, I do fairly similar content to these guys, just a little bit more different and a little bit more assholish, because that's what I am. You can find me doing podcasts, doing streams on Fortnite, DBD, other games. I don't know, maybe I'll do some Arkham shit since I'm hung up on Batman. At facebook.com/slurpmedia, SLURRP media at facebook.com. You could also find me personally on Instagram at Seb the Harmacist. You can also find me on Twitter at SebSoriano835. If you want to make sure it's me, it's the one that says Sebuyas for Lenny.
And please remember to stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated if you can. Get your booster for fuck's sake, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.